Wisconsin became part of the Union on May 29, 1848. America's dairy land, home of Culver's, Leinenkugels, Summerfest, and the Green Bay Packers. Birthplace of Gene Wilder, Liberace, Frank Lloyd Wright, Georgia O'Keeffe, Chris Farley himself, Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer. UFO sightings happen on a daily basis. It has more haunted locations than it does bars. The devil himself created a playground tucked into its forests. For these reasons and many others, America's dairy land is also America's Scaryland!
Oh, yeah. It's America's Scaryland.
That's us.
The only podcast out there. The only thing you're listening to.
I feel like you're going to jinx us.
Never. I'm
Okay.
going to jinx us in the good way of getting us viewership.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got to have the confidence of 6 seasons under your belt. And, come out swinging.
That's true. And it feels like it's been 6 already. So.
It just gets better with age, like a fine wine.
Or cheese.
Or cheese, yes. Yes.
Because we're in Wisconsin.
There you go. We tied it already. Podcast done. We tied it back to Wisconsin.
gmail.com/podcast. That's not an email.
.com.
That's fucking Krampus.
Okay, so righty then.
Yeah.
The hibernation season keeps on rolling.
I kind of wish I was hibernating.
Snuggled up into the warmth of our homes this awesomely cold and or maybe warm winter we're having.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, jumping back into things. It's time once again for Real Shit or Bullshit.
Yeah, that's a fun new segment we started this season.
Yep.
Where Nick and I, we watch a video and we discuss the video, and you can discuss the video too, because we're going to put it up on our Facebook, Twitter, and social media pages.
We dissect it as best we can to see if it is real shit or bullshit.
Yep. So far, not too well with the real shit.
No.
We're 0 for 2.
You are 0 for 2. Actually, no, there's no real shit yet.
Yeah.
I'm standing by the fact that I doubt there will be real shit. It is the internet. So, this probings episode of Real Shit or Bullshit.
Where are we going?
Is Sewer Creature Spotted. That's literally, if you're listening right now and haven't clicked on the link earlier, that's the video that we're watching.
Yep. And I've seen this video before.
Oh, that's what I was going to mention. So we tried something a little different this time. So the last 2 probings, the videos were ones that Jake and I had both seen already. And I tasked Jake this week with finding a video for me that he's pretty sure I'd never seen, which I don't remember seeing this at all. So we are going to play the video and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Sewer Creature Spotted.
Here we go.
It's 30 seconds long, so...
Yeah, it's pretty short. I'm pretty sure this is like a remote-controlled drone vehicle that was in a sewer.
It looks like a... That's it right there? That
Hold
thing
on.
that flew by?
Wait. Oh, look at the end of the hallway.
It's Dobby. It's it. Dobby's a free elf, and he... that movement creeped me the fuck out a little bit. Now, that's... I don't know.
Watch again. Watch the end of the hallway.
I'm watching
See
it. Yeah, I see Dobby.
See him watch. He pokes himself back out again.
No, I know. I see the eyes.
But he's not there. Oh,
Yeah.
What's that? The fuck is that?
Dude, this stuff is just
What
too
the fuck?
easy to
And then look
fake.
at him. He's like, what is this little? What the fuck is that? And then it moves, and he's like, I'm the fuck out of here. I'm gone.
Dude.
See, that kind of thing gives me goosebumps. Because
I mean, it's anything that's supposed to creep you out typically creeps me out.
that's fucking weird.
Like, you know what that was? All that was, truthfully, to me, that's Andy Serkis's audition footage for playing Gollum. That's all he submitted them.
That's fair. I think it's fucking creepy.
Every video we've dissected is creepy, in their own right.
See, and that one is weird to me because I do remember that when I originally saw that video, it wasn't just the 30-second chunk of the thing. Like, there was an explanation of what it was, and that was a remote control, like, for lack of a better term, vehicle that they sent down to explore these old sewers, and they put it in, like, so it wasn't like somebody was there filming that.
But, I mean, still, if you're a little creature like that and, you see this little remote control car, like...
But what was the creature? That's the thing.
I don't know. It's still... like I said, it's going to really take a substantial video for me to call real shit on something. Because I'm calling this fake shit. I'm calling this bullshit.
See, and to me, I'm going to mark this in the first real shit
column. Okay, our first split.
Yeah.
Our first split. I'm not upset.
That's fair.
I'm not upset. So, Probing 3.
Yeah. That's this one.
The Apocalypse episode.
It's about time we got to the end.
It's about time we got to the end. This week's Probing is based around an article I found while researching probings for this season.
Yeah. This one's going to be more of a fun one, I feel.
This is going to finally, I think, jump back up
Let's
to
not talk about kids getting stabbed.
Nor will we bring up Black Pete.
Oh, fuck, he's there.
No, great. The whole podcast is depressing again.
He's everywhere.
Man. All right, moving out of the spirit of Christmas because we are far removed from that.
Did anybody watch Holiday Hijinks? Let me know.
God. So, in the socials, I have placed a link to the article that this probing is going to be built around. The article is the 8 best places to hide in Wisconsin in the event of a zombie apocalypse, which I just realized is a very long title for an article.
It is. That is not going to be the whole name of the podcast.
No, God, no. It literally just better be called the Apocalypse episode.
Yeah.
So this article lists 8 locations in Wisconsin that are places to kind of bunker down in the case of a zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Now, Jake knows this, and several of my close friends know this. I have a crazy fascination with the apocalypse. Not like prepper status crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just infatuated by it. It amazes me. So...
It's amazing.
the end is amazing.
All the dead people.
So I took it upon myself to break this down further than just the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, this is definitely more your episode.
Yeah. Jake hates the apocalypse. He never wants anything to end.
That is not accurate. The apocalypse sounds like a fun change of pace. But I did not do much in the way of researching this. I figured it would be more fun for me to go off the cuff.
It's like reverse deja vu.
'Tis opposite land.
Oh man. Now, back in the first season, that's a direct quote from me.
Yeah.
No, I will be entirely honest. I have been looking forward to this episode. By episode, I do mean probing.
And by probing, he means this one.
Exactly. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Episode 3.
So, I have actually boiled this down to 5 specific types of apocalypse scenarios.
I didn't know the world could end in so many ways.
Now, I had 6. Then I did some devil's research and realized that I just typed into Google, what would happen if the ice caps melt? You know, a whole like Kevin Costner Waterworld situation.
Yeah.
Turns out,
Not much.
Wisconsin's safe. We are completely safe if that shit melts. We'll get, like Jake said earlier,
We'll get beachfront property.
beachfront property, but we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Most of the state, fine.
That's what happens when you're landlocked.
So
We're in the middle.
So
Mountains on both sides.
the way I kind of thought through the format of this episode is we'll go through each of the 8 locations.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of go over some pros and cons of whether or not it would be a good or bad spot for that specific scenario of the apocalypse.
Word.
So let's get going with the first one. And I also took notes really stupid. I took a lot of notes. I texted Jake about 2 weeks ago, and I said, I'm going to have so many notes for the Apocalypse episode. It's crazy. More than I've ever been prepared for an episode, so I'm pretty excited. As much as Jake gets a raging boner for ghosts and hauntings, the Apocalypse just grinds my gears. Gets me going.
Yep. So, I'm about half chub right now, though. I like
as I will continue to say until it becomes part of the American lexicon, the Apocalypse ticks days off my calendar.
There's no more calendars. The world has ended.
Exactly. So, the first location we have this is going to go in numerical order per the article, so you can read along if you'd like.
Yep, this is...
We have the Apostle Islands.
Right.
The Apostle Islands they're a group of 21 islands that make up a 12-mile strip of shoreline in Ashland County. So way up north.
Is that by a Great Lake?
It is. It's Lake Superior.
Okay.
Some features are rocky shorelines, sea caves. It's got a couple of the islands have lighthouses, lots of wildlife. And then there's out of the 21, I kind of touched on a couple of the islands that have some interesting features to themselves.
Okay.
There's Devil's Island, which is actually the northernmost tip of Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Now, I sat here and I wrote elevations, thinking this was before I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do if the sea heights change? It doesn't make a difference. So I won't bother you with that. Madeline Island, which is the most common one that everyone's probably heard of. I mean, I've never been up to these places myself.
Never heard of them before.
But I've definitely heard of Madeline Island.
I haven't.
Madeline Island has the biggest like commercial development on it.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, there was actually an episode of Dirty Jobs. They don't allow motor vehicles on Madeline Island. And so Mike Rowe went there, and because I think there's like a lot of horse-drawn carriages and stuff for like getting around.
Right.
Like he scooped shit. That was the job he did. There is Manitou Island.
Okay.
That one I just have heights for. And then there's Michigan Island again. So
Useless information about these islands.
And then there's Stockton Island, which has a large amount of black bears.
Ooh, not going there.
So
Get eaten by a zombie or a bear.
Okay. So I didn't actually go through the rest of the apocalypse scenarios. So the 5 scenarios we're going to discuss.
Your notes have quickly broken.
They're all over the place. Hang on, we're going to reel it back in. There's going to be the pandemic. Pandemic.
Pandemonium. Ooh, Panda House. I want Chinese food. Fuck.
So, the pandemic apocalypse.
Yeah.
The bolide impact, which is essentially the deep impact scenario from...
Not a world ender, but it's going to fuck some shit.
Or Armageddon. Yeah, that one.
That's the thing.
The alien invasion apocalypse.
Would that be apocalypse?
Well...
Yeah. Aliens are kind of dicks.
Then the zombie apocalypse, which I didn't copyright it, but I pretty much took notes right from the pages because that's what the article goes over.
Yeah.
And then the nuclear holocaust, that sort of thing.
Right.
So,
you can't say that word, though.
Holocaust?
No, nuclear.
Oh, yeah, it touches people in the wrong spot.
Nuclear, you dummy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just revert back to our Christmas episode about the pronunciation of our words because it's also...
I never did figure out how to say Yule cat in Icelandic. I don't think that's not right.
All right, so...
It starts with a J.
Pandemic scenario.
Yeah.
We got just this crazy virus that's, killing people off left and right, messing people up. So, okay, pros of the Apostle Islands. It's pretty close to...
Can't read his own handwriting, folks.
I can't. That's what happens when the pen bleeds through to the other side. There's blue and red ink everywhere. Well, food, for one. You got a pretty you're on islands, you can fish.
Black bears.
But yeah, it's the area's abundant with wildlife, so cool. You got water's right there. Yeah. Cool.
Is it salt water or fresh water?
I don't know.
Fucking A.
It's a Great Lake water.
Pretty sure that's
One thing that's actually really unique to the pandemic situation is the ability to quarantine. Now, other locations, you can obviously set up a quarantine just about anywhere. However,
Right.
you can really, really quarantine.
You could Australia these people.
Yeah, exactly. You can put people on an island, be like, don't get the fuck off. Don't come near our island.
Get out of here, criminals. I mean, sick people.
Exactly. I actually thought that was a really...
Yeah, it's got isolation.
Yeah. The...
Ooh, prison island with black bears as guards. It's adorable and terrifying.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's just all I wrote. Designate multiple islands or whatever as quarantine zones, and
Yeah.
tain't going over there. I don't know. You got any other... I only kind of picked a couple. I'm sure there's a lot of other, And the other thing, too, is, like, a lot of these will kind of bleed over into one another, too.
Yeah.
So, you think of any other pros for kind of a widespread virus going on with an island chain?
Well, I mean, your biggest is the isolation, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Another pro would probably be the simple fact that, I mean, unless you're from that area, I'm just taking it from my experience. I never heard of these islands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to set up a small, isolated community there, you're not going to have a lot of people being like, we got to get there.
Yeah.
It's not at the top of people's minds.
Right.
So it's kind of like first come, first serve, people.
I mean, you would want to, I think, definitely set up camp on Madeline Island, the one with the most commercial development. You're going to have the most, like, housing. And I did look, there is a it's not a hospital. What the fuck was it called? There's a hospital-ish, sort of, yeah.
Okay, so it's got access to medical stuff.
Yeah, so this is what Madeline Island has. It's got La Pointe Community Clinic. So because I looked really deep into, like, is it a hospital? So I actually put that in the cons column because yes, while you do have access to medical supplies, they're gonna be limited.
Heck yeah.
Now, granted, in a lot of these scenarios that take place near cities and stuff like that, you will eventually run out of stuff.
Right.
But with this one being more in the wilderness, you will also have the ability to, go straight like Pioneer and just get wilderness stuff to make you feel better too. Like,
Right. Plus, I would also think with it being in the wilderness, I mean, the hunters in Wisconsin, they're going to have first aid kits and stuff like that around. So it wouldn't be unlikely to be able to go scavenge. I'm sure there's lots of like...
Well, that's one of the cons, though, is it's Madeline Island is like the closest civilization, if you will. You're going to easily run out of resources, whether it be
Right.
other than food and water. I mean...
Because I did Google it. All the Great Lakes are freshwater. They
Okay.
actually make up like, what did it say, 1/5 or 1/10
all of the
world's-
fresh water on the planet.
Yeah, it's 1/5 of all the fresh water on the surface of the planet.
Okay.
So
But
Plenty
so other
of
than
water.
food and water, you're gonna run out of, be it woods or like wood. You're gonna run out of,
I mean, I feel like there's probably plenty of trees around there.
and I guess without giving it the kind of end cap of like how long are you surviving for?
Right.
If you're surviving for generations, I suppose at a given time you're gonna eventually.
Yeah, I mean, is this like your typical movie apocalypse where within
Within an hour and a half, you've got this whole.
they find civilization again, or is this we're talking the road where guess what, you're either eating people or shooting yourself because that's all you got left to look forward to.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Because no one ever thinks about that. You always think of the first week before and the week immediately following the horrible thing, but like 6 years from now, where
Right.
are you gonna be?
Right. So I mean, it's plausible that I would definitely call this. I mean, all of these obviously are places you can survive apocalypses on,
Right.
but
And I'm going to say I have one big con for what I feel like is going to be several of these, and I'm going to save that for when we're done.
yeah, is it the fact that it's Wisconsin and winter is going to fucking suck?
Well, you've ruined the ending. Yes. Anywhere on this list, the biggest con will be, guess what? 9 feet of snow 6 months out of the year.
That is true. However, I do feel like there are a couple that will show up that might actually,
Especially
counter
like
that.
this place, if it's so far north,
yeah.
oh, you're
This
fucked from like October to March.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
bring
All
your
right.
snow boots.
Bring your snow boots.
And a fire. Lots of fire.
All right, next apocalypse scenario, impact scenario. So
I assume we're not talking direct strike to the
I
Wisconsin.
put an asterisk up there just saying depending on where the collision and the size of the impact took place, and that's kind of my note for every one of these. But like,
Because I mean, I would think that if a meteor big enough to wipe out enough to make it like an apocalypse scenario, if it hit Wisconsin,
oh yeah, it would be Crater City. It'd be the
fuck out of here.
yeah, it would be Crater City.
Welcome to Canada's butthole.
Yeah. So with asteroids big enough to kick up debris and shit into the atmosphere,
Yeah.
shit's gonna freeze over.
Well, we're prepped for that.
Yeah. But I did write, I mean, cavemen did this, but the sea caves could actually offer possible shelter from that.
Are those sea caves under the water? Or
No,
just,
no,
like,
no,
on
no.
the
They're
coast?
like kayakers go into them and
Okay.
explore them and stuff like that. So
That sounds fun.
yeah, so I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
And then a big con for that would be, other than Madeline Island, there's not a lot of structures for protection
Right.
from, I mean, that's the thing with the winter thing with these, like, just about all the islands are gonna suck,
Yeah.
except
Unless
if
you prep yourself for underground life.
that, and if you bunker down on Madeline Island where civilization is.
And this would be made worse too, because like that's I think the thing you don't think about with a meteor strike is that it's usually not like, yeah, if you get hit, you're fucked. But it's the aftermath. That's what helped drive out the dinosaurs was the ice age. Just no sun.
Froze them over.
Guess what happens? Icicle world.
Yeah.
You ever play that Mario level where you're sliding everywhere? That's us falling in craters.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to venture off into a little bit of the science fiction realm with let's
Legal immigrants.
let's go with the nuclear
Okay.
situation. Nuke goes off.
Fucking Russians.
Not all that different from the impact scenario.
Except we're not living in a frozen ice age in this world.
Right, but
Or don't
We
go outside
are-
when it's raining.
again, we are dealing with one of the cons being, depending on the fallout and the size of the fallout,
Yeah.
we're dealing with radiation levels
Yep.
that could be really bad outside.
Yep.
Again, in that same vein, a pro could be that the sea caves could actually provide you shelter.
That would be the best bet, I would think, in this situation. Like,
Yep.
you ever see 12 Monkeys
Yeah.
living underground?
Yep.
Yep. just
Well,
like that.
but with these though too, I have to imagine that like Madeline Island, you probably can't. I've never been there. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
I don't know that those places would have basements or like a.
Oh, the housing?
Yeah, I can't think that you'd be able to really get. I mean, other than the sea caves, which I don't know exactly where they're located, or if they're dotted across the shoreline,
Right.
or if they're actually connected in some way. So I mean, it would be really tough to. It'd be a gamble to just say, "Hey, let's go live in the sea caves, get away from the radiation." All right. So those are the three like legitimately
Could happen.
could happen scenarios. Now we're gonna jump into
The fun one.
the two fun ones: the alien invasion.
Yep.
Anytime I think of like alien invasion, apocalypse stuff, some people are Mars. It kind of some people are Mars attacks. Some people are Predator.
Independence Day.
I subscribe wholeheartedly to Independence Day. That's for me. That's my.
You want the tentacle.
Yep. I just really love Bill Pullman too. That was
This is
Paxton
our
actually.
Independence Day.
It was one of the Bills,
Bill Pullman was in Aliens, though. It's game over, man.
I guess. I mean,
So-
was that? Because I don't know. One of them was in Twister. One of them was in Independence Day, and I can never remember.
Paxton was in Twister.
Okay.
And then he was also in Aliens, the sequel to Alien. He's the guy that goes, "It's game over, man. We're fucked. Game over."
Do you know those two actually did a movie together?
Did they?
Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton. It's Oh God, it's a like a psych thriller, but it's pretty fucked up.
I would watch
I
it.
think one of them plays like a psychiatric doctor, and the other one plays a patient.
Oh, as the plot of the movie that they don't know which is which? Because that'd be super meta.
Which movie were you in now?
Of like, he's like, no, I'm the doctor. No, I'm the patient.
No, my name's Bill
Paxton.
Pullman.
I think we just wrote a great movie.
All right, alien invasion. So
Are they coming from Canada or Mexico?
Spain.
Fuck.
Coming a long ways
Fucking
away.
Spaniards.
For nothing.
What was that Christmas one that we talked about where the dude kidnapped people? It wasn't Black Pete. Was it?
Krampus.
No, the one where he kidnapped kids and brought them back to Spain.
Black Pete.
Was that Black Pete? Fuck.
He put them.
Fuck.
He kidnapped the bad children and put them in a sack that was once filled with toys for the good children.
You're coming with me, kid. Where? We're going to Spain. Say hola to your parents.
Oh, that episode. All right, so
I don't want to anymore. Yeah, so aliens. I'm assuming you're talking from outer space.
outer space aliens. Can't get over the fact that you just made them Canadian aliens. We're from outer space, eh? Why don't you just hold still while we come and probe you, huh?
We come in peace, eh? Don't worry,
Hey, you're gonna like it when we take over. There's gonna be a lot of hockey all the time.
don't worry, bud. We're on your side.
No. We're not the bad ones like from the movies. We're real friendly. Do you like poutine?
Our ships run on maple syrup.
Now that's a racist comment. Yeah.
Sorry, Riley.
Riley did not like that. Riley apparently doesn't like Canadians.
Roof, part Canadian, roof.
Oh, I feel a derailment coming soon. Let's get going.
Okay, so space aliens
Space
come down,
aliens.
and they just fuck the shit up.
Yep. I've got, again, coastal caves, hiding locations, but also in this vein, like woods. You're going to have a lot of woods,
Yeah.
like forest area to hide in. So,
Plus, I'd like to imagine that my aliens that attack are the aliens from Signs.
I just was thinking that. And
Splash, splash.
hey, you're surrounded by water. They ain't coming anywhere
Splash,
near you.
splash. Did you ever hear the theory that those aliens were actually demons, and the reason they were beat by water is because all the water in his house was holy?
So cons that I have for an alien invasion.
Don't sandbag my film theories. Moving on.
You and your Christian Science. Told you. Science is for the devil.
Scientology, here we come.
Oh, I'm getting further and further away from the mic. I just realized this.
He's running away from the podcast.
Oh, boy. So a big con would be isolation from major cities would mean that, like, materials,
Yeah.
like, again, not counting food, but materials for eventually, like, maybe using something to counterattack.
Yeah.
You know, you're
That
gonna
isolation, though, could also be a pro, because in theory, they're not going to go there.
Yeah, I mean,
You're going to kind of be just left alone. in
that's
the
true. I
wilderness.
highly doubt if an alien invasion were to occur, like, they're going to come down and be like, we need rock, and we need woods, and we need wood.
Yeah. I mean,
Where can we go? Well, hey, heard about this place in northern Wisconsin. They got tons of it. Let's just zip up there. In the old UFO, in the old FO.
I mean,
And
where's the nearest Tim Hortons, eh?
yeah. So that's what I touched on there. Like I said, a lot of the stuff kind of bleeds over into the other
Yeah.
one. But now on to everyone's favorite apocalypse scenario.
God, I'm over zombies.
Zombies. All right. So, pros. Zombies can swim. Most zombies can swim.
Can they swim, or can they just walk underwater?
Can they just float?
That means they're dead.
He's doing the dead man's float. He is a dead man.
Look at all those corpses. I'm pretty sure they're alive still.
Well, in this game, we're going to pretend that they can... Oh, fuck, you almost had me saying float. They can swim.
They all float down here.
Oh, shut up.
Come on, Georgie.
Oh, God.
Let's go to the hockey game, Georgie. Canadian it.
Hey, Georgie. Come on down here, buddy.
I'm in the sewer, eh, bud? Let's go.
Do you like hockey, Georgie?
How about them Leafs? How they doing?
Oh, no. I think we found the season's dinosaurs. Canadian It.
Any horror movie with Canadians is the best.
No, I actually just think Canadian It is the best thing that might have just happened this season. Holy shit. If I ever get around to watching those movies again, that's all I'm going to hear it saying now.
Clown with the hat with the floppy ears, denim jacket. Jeez.
Hey, Georgie! Oh, my no. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Fuck.
That wasn't even a dad joke. That was just a solid fucking joke.
Print the shirt.
It's got to get made now.
Just a clown in a Canadian tuxedo.
It just says, hey, Georgie on it.
What them Leafs say?
Hey, Georgie, you got a paper schooner?
Oh.
Well, at least your nose isn't stuffed up anymore.
Oh, that's the one.
Oh, man. Yeah. Highlight of season 2, y'all.
Okay. Well, there goes another 20-minute laugh. Edit that
God.
shit down.
Jeez. So good.
Oh, I love it.
Man, I don't know why I shut down when you have such good jokes like that. I'm just...
I think it makes it funnier.
I shake my head in just amazement that I never got around to saying it first. It was great. God damn Canadian It.
Patent pending on that shirt design.
Georgie, we all float down here. No, I'm just down in the cellar playing with my paper boat. Come on, Georgie, I'm just waiting. I can't.
Ow. Can you smell the popcorn, Georgie? Peanuts, too.
No, I know it's the sewer. It's the sewer, Georgie, but the runoff just goes into Lake Michigan. It's okay. It's fine. It just bleeds down into... It's okay. No, come on down and play. Yeah. I got a life preserver because we all float down here. What? You can float too, Georgie.
You're Georgie. I'm Pennywise. Hey, we know each other now.
Yeah, no, my name's Pennywise, Georgie. Yeah, no, we're friends. Yeah. No, don't tell your brother. No, oh, no. Golly, no. Don't tell your brother. No. He won't like me. And I'm Canadian, and I'm supposed to like everybody.
Oh, golly. Are we getting back on track?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
All right. Zombies, eh?
They're undead, eh?
They're undead. You mean they walk around with no brains?
They used to be such nice fellas, eh?
Man, the Canadians are going to hate us after this.
They love us.
Man. I also didn't realize I was so good at a Canadian accent.
You are very good at it.
Like, I didn't realize... I've never really, like, stuck into one before.
You've
But
been sitting on that this whole
I
time.
guess I got talents I don't even know about.
Eh?
So, one of the things with this is because of the islands. You need a minute?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I'm going to really try not to say anything Canadian again. 360, and I guess this is really for a couple of them, but 360 viewpoint. I mean, you can see
Yes.
a lot of the stuff, so. Plenty of food. Mm-hmm. Zombies tend to not be able to swim, blah, 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 blah. Where did I go? They're slowed down by water.
Yeah.
There's that.
That'd be a perk.
So, that's the Apostle Island. All right, the next place.
Ugh, this one, nothing but cons. Never go there. No reason to ever be there.
Jake's so salty that this is on the list. Oh,
doesn't make
man.
sense to me.
Why a stadium such as Lambeau Stadium, or I'm an idiot because that's not what it's called.
Lambeau Stadium.
Come on down to the stadium of Lambeau on the Flambeau. Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of just history. I just started writing facts down. I was like, maybe this will be relevant.
Fucking
So,
typical Wisconsin guy.
yep. So we're gonna wing it.
Here's my 15-point PowerPoint on.
We're gonna
Lambeau
wing
Field.
it. We are gonna wing it. And
Here's my biggest con, and we said it before, but the simple fact that what is Lambeau Field known for other than not winning championships lately is
you don't know.
the Ice Bowl.
As of recording this, you don't know the outcome of the Super Bowl.
I guarantee it's not Green Bay.
Definitely not the Vikings.
Hey, now, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it's definitely not Green Bay. But the simple fact is it's known for the Ice Bowl. Because why? Because it is literally a giant bowl where winter just craps in it.
You know, funny you should say that because one of the best updates that were made to it was the gotta read my notes. The more than 30 miles of radiant heating piping laid into the field.
Now, will that run without maintenance?
Probably not.
So, it's good for about a month.
But there are plans to make Lambeau run on wind energy and biogas.
So, wind and shit. What's biogas? Like, farts? Just go fart at Lambeau.
I don't know.
Gotta keep the lights on.
It's too late for my head to be going this way. Anyway, all right. So, pandemic.
I like the idea of a stadium.
I do too. I just.
I think a stadium with a roof would be a better idea.
Yeah, it probably would be a lot better of a. I mean, that I will put that in the giant con category. I mean, you already said it, but winter. But yeah.
Because, I mean, we've even seen it in, like, real history. After Katrina, everyone went to wherever the fuck the Saints play, that stadium. And, I mean, it was perfect. You can house many, 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 many people.
Right.
But yeah, Lambeau just to me like would not be a place I'd want to hang out.
See, I guess, and I know it exists, but I know underneath, I think most stadiums, don't they have like a lot of their practice field underneath? I guess some stadiums do have like a practice facility underneath the actual stadium. I've never been to Lambeau, so maybe they do.
Because, like, Minnesota's, not to get into the football chat, but Minnesota's practice facilities are in Eden, Minnesota, and their stadium is in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do this then. Out of the 5 scenarios, what would be the worst scenario to try to weather? What would be the best, or, like, what... Out of these 5, what is Lambeau the best equipped to handle? Okay. What is it the worst to handle? Worst
would be either the meteor or the nuclear, because like there is the chance that there's like the nuclear winter.
Right.
Anything that makes winter last longer than it already does.
Yeah.
If you're year-round winter, don't go there.
Yeah.
Best I would say would be probably a zombie apocalypse, because a pandemic of like an actual illness,
and you have people confined.
Yeah, like it's the opposite of the last place. It's not open. It's not isolated. Not to mention it's in Green Bay.
Yeah, you can do pockets, but yeah, it's like pockets of like quarantines, but it's not.
But eventually you'll run out of space.
Yeah.
But with a zombie apocalypse, high walls, places. Not only like are you kind of. The field would be like, you know, you're in the middle and you can have guards around it, but I'm sure there's like outwardly looking areas.
Yeah.
And I mean, plus it's a big circle.
Yeah, you could fashion things to get on the absolute, like the top of the lights there and, you know, scope down and check out. The other, you know, the big con though for the zombie would be, I guess, depending on how many survivors you have with you, there's a lot of like pockets of hiding spots in there too.
Yeah.
So there could be a lot of pockets of just like...
You'd have to do sweeps.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, the one thing too that like I kind of think, and I've always kind of had this idea in my brain of like football stadiums. If you think about it, is they're the closest thing to like American castles.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Yeah,
Because I mean, and especially like you get into like Lambeau or any of the other major ones where it's like, yeah, these are like huge places, and that's where a lot of money gets sunken into, and part of that is unplanned fortification. So
yeah, and along with kind of the number of survivors and the duration of survival, you could potentially have, with fewer survivors, you could potentially have a decent amount of food stores.
yeah,
I mean, they stock a lot of food there there's restaurants all over it, not to mention all the stands.
and near it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, also if you think like if you get lucky and hit like optimum, like they were prepped for the upcoming season, there's going to be several like cooking areas.
Right.
There's going to be a completely fully stocked medical facility. Then also, all the restaurants that are nearby within walking distance. Like it's a good centralized location.
Well, and then you think about like the clubhouse aspect of it too, and you've got, all the facilities. Again, I've never been there, and I didn't turn up much in the research, but you've got offices all along it. You got the skyboxes too for bunks and for like places to sleep and that sort of thing.
And I'm actually going to throw that out as a possible con though, because as soon as you start looking at like you have the really nice like skyboxes and press boxes, you're going to automatically start having like a class structure.
Again, that would depend on how many survivors you would have. If it was like you and a family of 4, or like you and 10 of your closest friends, and no one came in or out of that structure, it was just you, it'd be fine.
Yeah, but I mean,
if you're trying to like restart civilization, from
part of
something
the
like
city
this,
is going to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have definitely. It would create its own sort of.
And the first guy that takes control is going to go, well, I'm taking the super nice, owner's box.
Right, and then,
Even though I don't think Green Bay has an owner's box. Because they don't have owners. Because Green Bay is the only publicly traded football team.
So, once again, biggest con.
Football facts.
Winter,
yeah.
Winter.
Snow is going to fuck you.
What would you say in all of these biggest pro?
For Lambeau?
Yeah, I just mean that would fit most of these scenarios.
Again, unplanned fortification.
Okay.
It's a safe place, and they didn't mean it to be.
Yeah. Okay.
But
that's
like I said, I always look at, especially as you're seeing the new ones being built, they're fucking castles. They are.
Yeah. They're impenetrable
they're
forces.
In big cities.
Yep.
They're meant to be like, look at us.
Yeah.
And that's what all castles were used to be.
Yeah. That's true. All right, next location. Oh, excuse me. Manitowoc Lighthouse. This is in Manitowoc. It's on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
I was pretty stoked about talking about this one. Okay, so just looking at that picture, what would you think what do you think this would be the best scenario to survive in?
I could say pandemic. Because it's very, it's super isolated.
You're going to have very limited.
And the zombie would come into. I mean, just the simple fact that it looks like that's maybe a 30-foot wide path.
Yep.
That leads to it, and the only other way to get to it is across Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
So you're pretty well set.
Yeah. And
but that also becomes its con.
Yeah. And I would say the worst scenario would be pretty much any of them.
Yeah.
Because it's very small.
It's one of those things where, you'd be set. That's a good start place.
Yeah, that's
Stockpile supplies, get your little group that you're going to survive with, hang out there for that first, 10 days where all the shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
Let the dust settle, move out from there.
Very good points. However, none of them make any fucking lick of difference because it was destroyed in January of 2019 by a massive surf. Monday, January 7th, 2019, a massive surf just tipped it right into Lake Michigan. Just the whole thing just toppled right into. I was reading that and I was getting ready to write all this down and I looked on it not on Wikipedia and I was like, oh shit. There's videos of this shit just getting blown and just tipped right into Lake Michigan.
Okay, so biggest con doesn't exist anymore.
Biggest con is it's Atlantis now.
Biggest pro, no one's getting to it.
All right, location 4.
Fuck.
The U.S. Bank Building in Milwaukee?
I would assume.
Yes, Milwaukee. I do have it written down somewhere where it is.
I would assume it's Milwaukee because it's Milwaukee or Green Bay would be my guess because it's too big to be in Madison.
Yeah, no, it's Milwaukee.
Okay.
Or it's right near Milwaukee, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thought I wrote it down.
So it's basically, I mean,
It's a 601 foot building.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's 42 floors.
Nice.
Observation deck on the 41st floor. 5,000 windows. I mean,
I would say in any sort of one of those situations, short of the meteor and the nuke, simply for the fact that those have a bigger chance of like structural damage.
If the impact's near. If
Right.
the impact's a distance away, you're pretty all right.
But with fallout,
then you fall out
comes acid rain,
Yeah.
which could damage it.
Yeah.
If a meteor hit close to it enough where maybe it, impact.
I would even go as far as saying alien invasion would be a bad one too, just because
It would be
they're
a
going to be
beacon.
exactly they're going to be directed towards tall
Yeah,
objects. I would assume.
yeah. If
So-
nothing else, they're just gonna be like, it's in the way.
Right.
So
Just Independence Day that shit.
yeah. But I mean, like, my first thought goes to Dying Light.
Yep.
Whether pandemic or zombies, the simple fact
thought-
that you can kind of block off the first couple floors.
Yep, I thought a lot about that game when I was looking into this one. Yeah, and then go practice your parkour
Yeah,
up on
pretty
the
much.
ceiling
Pile
or up
some
on the
garbage
roof.
around the bottom so you
Yep,
can jump off the
yep.
top. Because that's how it works.
I think a big pro for this in all of these is that it's right in Milwaukee, so you have access to plenty of supplies. Now, nuclear winter and that sort of stuff. There may be underground tunnels. I know there's a sky bridge that connects 2 other buildings to it.
Yep, so that'd be helpful.
So I mean, you wouldn't be wanting supplies. You'd be good on supplies for a while.
Right.
Zombies, the biggest con would probably be like in a lot of zombie shit. There's just so many pockets. Like, could you imagine 42 floors every single day doing a fucking sweep? Every nook and cranny of that building, like that. So there's just hot spots of pockets where the fucking
Yeah. Well, and the worst part about a zombie apocalypse in a place like that, any major metropolitan area, like those are the
so many
worst
people. Yeah, there's
places to
so many people.
Because you're gonna have people panicking, which is people in panic are the most dangerous things in the world, and then also just tons of zombies will be
Yeah.
everywhere. So plus it's fucking Milwaukee.
Yeah. So ultimately, that comes down to the biggest con: winter.
Oh, I was gonna say Milwaukee.
That's the secondary con. Follow-up location. Just since we did talk about Milwaukee and did just touch on Lambeau Field and just kind of delved into stadiums. What will always be known to me as Miller Stadium with a retractable roof.
Oh, or the Brewers play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit better of a stadium to hole up in.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you have built-in entertainment if you got kid survivors with you.
Play baseball.
No, well, I mean, you could say the same for football too, but you got the big slide that Bernie Brewer slides down all the time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, you got a playground right there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that was not one on the list, but
No.
kind of bonus spot. So, okay. Again, best scenario to survive in the U.S. Bank Building.
I'd go zombie. If you're already there, don't go there, but if you're already there,
If you're located there, zombie.
because big cities do provide the opportunity once the dust settles. Lots of supplies.
They're a built-in pro and con because of the same reason.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, which means lots of zombies. There's a lot of people, which means urban area, lots of supplies.
Yeah. At least 4 major hospitals, I would assume,
Right.
in a city that size.
Just taking the proper precautions to either if you
And the simple fact that it's got 2 sky bridges that connect it to 2 other buildings.
Yeah.
You got territory.
Again.
Not that you need 42 floors, but just in case you do.
Right. And again, con in the sky bridges with more territory, you have to comb more. So this is definitely one with like survivors, the amount of survivors, but at the same time, like Lambo, you got all these rooms, you got all these like you're gonna get the class system again.
Yeah,
like
people at the top.
Yep, exactly.
And you'd have to watch out because, like, the biggest thing with this is that, just like the alien thing, it is a beacon. So if you were to have any sort of lighting,
yeah, yep,
people would see it.
exactly.
Draw
They
people
would,
in.
yeah.
Not just zombies, but just
Well, yeah, other survivors that you may or may not want to attract. All right, I'm good on that one.
Yeah.
Rolling on. Fort McCoy. It's an active Army base in Monroe County. Mm-hmm. It is 90 square miles, or 60,000 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wrote a bunch of facts. But these facts, this actual fact is a little pertinent. There's 31 firing ranges, 21 artillery firing points, 12 mortar points, 3 machine gun ranges. It's got 25 buildings in its urban warfare courses. There's 309 buildings total on the grounds and 2 tunnel systems.
So it's essentially a city on top and below.
Mm-hmm. So,
with lots of guns.
Yeah. Let's just get this out of the way. Biggest con, winter.
Yeah, but I mean, also, this one almost seems to negate that. Kind of like a building. If it's got an underground tunnel system.
True. I mean, I don't know where this, I don't know if every building's accessible, but...
But I would have bet a mass majority of them.
Yeah. So...
The biggest con, honestly, I would see with a place like this is the simple fact that
you're not...
it's already going to be occupied by the military.
That's true.
So this will be a place you are forced to go, I would say, in most scenarios.
It's quite possible. I mean...
Or you will be prohibited from entering.
What about in a pandemic situation where the virus wipes out over half of the population currently in the fort?
I still would imagine that...
Or all of it. Or all of the...
I mean, unless it was, like, quick.
Yeah.
The military will be the first people to know, passing out gas masks, keeping themselves. This is where quarantines will be.
I mean, that's valid. Yeah, I mean, that's a definite con.
Plus, like, I mean, I'm basing this entirely off all apocalyptic fiction I've ever known. The military will become the biggest threat after the apocalypse because they will be the people that think and know how and want to rule the new civilization, and they have the might to do so because, I mean, ironically, even in
the one thing you're forgetting is this: all these folks are in the Midwest. They might be a much nicer military.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I just imagine that they're the weirdest thing when the apocalypse happens, the world ends for some reason.
It's always the military that's bad.
Well, and they always keep their rank structure going. The world has ended. There's no consequences to anything, but they'll still follow a colonel. No matter what. I'm
a glass half full sort of looking at this.
You're also ex-military.
Wow. Yeah.
The enemy.
Don't get me started now, eh? I would like to think that in a situation such as like a pandemic, if they have refugees, they're going to try their best to. I mean, I don't disagree that there may come a point in time where they don't have a choice. There might, but it depends on the pandemic too. Like all the different viruses and shit out there, all the things we were just talking about, it could be one that just, they're so located in such a tight packed area.
Yeah.
Could wipe a lot of it out.
Could.
And
it's also a military base, and those tend to be isolated. as far as like the mass population. So unless one of the soldiers got sick first,
yeah,
which I mean, like that brings me back to thinking about like, did you ever read The Stand by Stephen King?
No, I don't read.
Fair enough. The whole point of that is that
if I ain't got pictures, I ain't reading it.
The whole thing with that story is there's Captain Tricks, which is this disease that wipes out, like, I think he says like 99% of the population.
Okay.
And one of the things is that it
Sounds
actually
made up.
A little bit. It actually got started in a military base.
Okay.
And one of the patient zeros was a guy who found out about it, and so it was in the base, and then he spread it by leaving.
Okay.
And so, like, there isn't a big military presence because it started in the military. It started in the government. They were testing stuff. So, I mean, there's also that possibility. Resident Evil style.
Yeah. So, okay. Taking your doom and gloom scenario of the military just killing everyone.
Yeah.
Biggest pro? Or let's say, what would be the best scenario to play out for you to survive in a military base? I mean, it's got everything you would need.
Yeah.
It's got...
I would go with zombies because it's got.
You think so?
It's got weapons.
Could also be said true for aliens, though, too.
Or aliens, yeah.
You know? I think with...
I mean, no offense to the United States military or anybody's military, but I kind of feel like once you start dealing with intergalactic traveling species and creatures, we don't have anything that's going to match it.
You know what, though? At the end of the day, there are no intergalactic aliens coming down are no match for our CIA agents wrapped up in Bigfoot outfits.
Now they're wrapped like a rogue.
Well, I mean, they're like stepping into them. I feel like it's like a suit. They just like step into it. Like it's on like, yeah, exactly. You know, so like we'll, just like the humans are baffled by Bigfoot, we'll baffle the aliens. Be like, hey, aliens, and then clever girl, and just boom,
they're like,
capture up the alien.
We came to the Wookiee planet, wrong planet.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Exactly. Kashyyyk.
I didn't want to flex my nerd.
I'm upset that I actually knew how to pronounce that.
I didn't want to flex it.
Okay, I mean, all in all, it's not a bad place to hold up for most scenarios, because even with like, so like when you think the impact scenario or the nuclear scenario, in those scenarios I kind of look at like long-term survival.
Right.
Again, you've got everything you really need, especially with 2 tunnel systems. You can get a lot of places they'll even go outside.
Right.
So that's my thoughts on that one.
Well, let's pick, just for time's sake, let's go with like one more.
One more?
We're over an hour already. So.
All right. Well, I'll let you pick. We have
oh no, Apple.
We got Havenwood, Stevens Point, Noah's Ark.
Let's do Stevens Point, because you also said you wanted something to touch on this.
I have no notes on this one.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted to touch on Stevens Point real quick.
I have no notes on Stevens Point. The last one I have notes on is Havenwoods.
Okay, let's go Havenwoods then.
Okay. So, Havenwoods.
This was the one that you said was in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, the part, yeah. So, Havenwoods is, it's on the northwest side of Milwaukee. I couldn't figure out if it was a neighborhood, a state park, or like if it was just both.
It's probably a little bit of both.
But it's 237 acres.
I'm imagining like Central Park.
Probably.
Kind of situation.
I mean, a quick rundown.
Crappier.
It started as farmland for the House of Corrections back in the early 1900s.
That makes sense.
So prisoners tended to crops, milked cows, and built furniture.
I'm also destroying our Milwaukee fan base with this episode.
So then in the mid-40s, the U.S. Army seized it, of course.
Makes sense.
In the scenario you just explained how they would do that.
Yep.
And turned it into the Army Disciplinary Barracks.
No way.
Which housed soldiers, POWs, and German Americans internees.
POWs brought them to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
It actually also housed the Nike missile. It housed some, yeah.
Nike had a missile?
No, I didn't know this. I was reading into it, and yeah. So
Why did Nike have a missile?
you know what I'm talking about.
Do I? I don't remember Nike.
This
being
was
armed.
new to me. I was like, oh shit, it's actually named after something. I didn't realize that. It's Project Nike. Is you can read that later for all of our history buffs.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Y'all know it. You probably know what Project Nike is and probably knew that that's how Nike got its name.
Nope, had no idea.
I didn't know that Nike was actually Greek for victory. That was probably the most.
This is all news to me.
Yeah.
I assumed Nike was some dumb college kids thing.
So there was actually a missile arsenal there, I believe. I don't know if I'm.
Is it still there?
I don't think so. Anyway, it had something to do with. I'm trying to see if this article talks about the location. Yes, it does. Milwaukee Defense Area. Maybe that's what we're going for.
So basically, it was just one of our many surface to air, probably to help.
Yeah.
With the idea.
So I thought that was interesting. They got rid of the prison buildings in the 50s, or they went out of use in the 50s, and then they demolished them in the 70s. Yeah, and then homeless people used them in the from the 60s to the 70s.
Are they really homeless though?
So
If they're living in a prison.
Actually, between the 60s and 70s.
Sorry, Milwaukee.
Nope, hold on. Yeah, Milwaukee.
It's just history. It's not our fault.
What I'm about to say and how Jake is going to respond is no reflection upon my feelings towards your garbage city.
It's not my fault if it's true.
Between 1958 and 1970, the city used parts of land as a landfill.
Yeah. Not only did it once house your garbage people, it just held your garbage for a little bit.
And then between 1969 and 71, homeless families took up residence in the abandoned buildings.
Fuck it, why not?
Yep. Oh, but then in 1974, the Army's like, man, we're going to just consider this a surplus. And everything, the prison buildings, the tunnels, the Nike missile site, the grasslands just became open to the public.
Just fucking have it all. So someone somewhere has a Nike missile in their basement.
Probably. Or is their basement.
Government left us here. It's mine now.
So, yeah.
Man.
Best scenario, you could probably survive here.
None of them. It's Milwaukee.
You're such a terrible person.
I'm sorry. I've only been there once.
So, I'm going to go with biggest con, winter. And I'm going to fill in the blanks for Jake here because there's a derailment pending of the rest of this episode.
No.
So I'm going to lock it down before it happens.
Okay.
I'm going to say zombie is going to be the best scenario that you can survive here because...
Is it fenced off, does it say?
It doesn't. It didn't say, but there's a lot of open land and buildings. So I'm going to say zombie.
Okay.
Zombie's probably the best. Maybe alien, just hiding. Once again.
Yeah, I'm still going to stick with pandemic not being a good place for Milwaukee. Not because Milwaukee is a garbage town, but because there's a lot of people there. And if you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick in Milwaukee because of the people. And I mean their closeness to each other.
So we ran a little over time because of the 20-minute laugh fest.
That none of you will hear.
Oh, boy. But it was great.
We don't have any listeners in Canada.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, wait. Lies. It says we have one.
So, with that, I will mention the two honorable mentions, which were the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point.
Yeah.
I didn't get around to doing notes on that. And Noah's Ark in Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
I just feel like that would be a fun place to at least survive out the apocalypse.
It's kind of like Zombieland when they go to the amusement park.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't end well for them. Well,
but there are, like, the other thing is there are a lot of things in Noah's Ark that would be of advantage too, you know?
Yeah.
Tall rides, hotels, room board, that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be a good place to hang out, and you'd at least have that, like, you could get that momentary distraction from the rest of the world around me is horrible.
Yeah.
But water slides!
And especially if you're from Wisconsin and you, like, have at least visited Noah's Ark as a kid once or twice.
See, I've never been.
But you didn't grow up here either.
No, but I have been to the Dells, and it was quite cheesy but fun.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Don't make fun of Milwaukee, but I can make fun of the Dells.
So that wraps up the Apocalypse episode, which has been dubbed a probing.
It's been enlightening, that's for sure.
It was a little haphazard along the way. And I feel like if I had done full notes on this would have been a 4-hour episode.
And I feel like we would have never gotten to Canadian It.
Nope. I also feel like everything was in place to set up Canadian It. So...
Say the line Canadian. Say it Canadian. Say it Canadian.
All right. Get off my case. Check us out on all of our socials, of course.
Yeah, you know by now.
Yeah. We don't really have to go through them.
Email us your best Canadian stories.
Yes. Or actually, even, this list was only 8.
Yeah.
So email us the best place you would want to, where would you want to survive an apocalypse? Where would you want to ride out the end of the world at? And why? And why would you want to do that?
And if you're from Milwaukee, don't email us because we don't care. This is a thing now. I'm starting a grudge.
In case you forgot, though, America Dairyland is scarier than you think. That's Jake, Nick.
See ya.
God hates us.